Imagine biting into a juicy apple, but instead, your teeth sink into something slimy and cold. Talk about a reality check. This unsettling experience reflects the age-old philosophical question: what is real? And how do we even know for sure? Buckle up, because we're diving down a rabbit hole of perception, existence, and the very fabric of reality itself. Our experience of reality is like a personal Instagram filter, completely subjective. Light waves hit our eyes, sound vibrations tickle our ears, and our brains mash it all together into a movie playing just for us. But is this movie the real deal, or just an elaborate illusion cooked up by our neural networks? Here's a head-scratcher. Imagine two friends standing on opposite sides of a campfire. One feels the heat radiating off the flames, while the other shivers in the cool night air. Both experiences are real for them, yet they paint totally different pictures of the same scene. This highlights the limitations of our senses and how our own perspective shapes how we perceive the world. Some philosophers, like René Descartes, were super skeptical. They questioned whether anything, even our own existence, could be definitively proven. Maybe we're all just elaborate dream characters, or brains in vats experiencing a virtual reality video game. How can we be sure the world we see isn't just a super realistic simulation? Descartes proposed the now famous evil demon thought experiment. What if there is a powerful, malicious entity that deceives us at every turn, making us believe in a world that doesn't actually exist? While this scenario might seem like science fiction, it forces us to confront the limitations of our knowledge and the possibility that our senses can be fooled. Beyond the senses, using your brain, not just your taste buds. While skepticism is a healthy thought experiment, most of us function under the assumption that there's an actual world out there, beyond our own heads. So, how do we bridge the gap between our personal reality movie and the objective reality everyone else keeps talking about? Enter reason and logic, the ultimate detective duo. Science uses cool methods like experiments and observations to gather evidence, test ideas, and build a picture of how the universe works. Scientists don't just rely on their senses. They develop sophisticated instruments that can detect things our senses can't, from subatomic particles to distant galaxies. Through repeated experimentation and careful analysis, scientists build theories that explain natural phenomena and allow us to make predictions about the world around us. The fabric of reality. Different theories for different folks. The nature of reality extends way beyond the world we can see and touch. Here are some mind-blowing theories that try to explain the underlying structure of existence, each with its own nuances and complexities. The materialist maniacs. Materialism is a broad philosophical school of thought, but for the sake of simplicity, let's consider physicalism, a specific type of materialism. Physicalists believe that the physical world, made up of matter and energy, is all that exists. Our consciousness, with all its subjective experiences, is an emergent property of complex brain activity. Think of a snowflake. The intricate beauty of a snowflake emerges from the arrangement of water molecules, but the snowflake itself isn't a separate entity from the water. Similarly, physicalists argue that consciousness arises from the complex interactions of neurons in the brain, but it's not a separate entity from the physical matter itself. However, materialism faces challenges. One is the problem of qualia, the subjective experiences of things like color, sound, and taste. How do the physical processes in our brains give rise to these subjective experiences? Another challenge is the concept of consciousness itself. While we can measure brain activity when someone sees red, can we ever truly know what it's like for them to experience that redness? The idealist illusionists. Idealism, on the other hand, proposes that reality is fundamentally mental, a product of consciousness. The physical world only exists insofar as it is perceived by minds. Think of the movie The Matrix. What if the world we experience is just a computer program, and all the buildings and people are just sophisticated code? Some idealists believe in a single, universal mind that creates and experiences the world. Others posit that individual minds create their own realities. This theory too has its problems. If reality is dependent on minds, what happens when a mind ceases to exist? Does the world disappear with it? Additionally, how can we explain the existence of things that seem to exist independently of our minds, like mountains and galaxies that existed long before humans were around to perceive them? The simulation sensation, living in the matrix. The simulation theory is a thought experiment that has gained traction in recent years. It proposes that our entire reality is a complex simulation created by a far more advanced civilization. Imagine playing a video game that's so realistic, it feels completely real. What if our reality is just a super-powered version of that? The idea is intriguing, but there's no scientific evidence to support it yet. Additionally, even if we live in a simulation, the question of what lies beyond the simulation, or what created the simulators themselves, remains. The consciousness conundrum, the hard problem. One of the biggest mysteries in the whole reality puzzle is consciousness itself. How does the squishy stuff in our brains give rise to subjective experiences like the feeling of a summer breeze or the taste of your grandma's cookies? This is known as the hard problem of consciousness, and scientists are still scratching their heads about it. Think of it like this. A computer can follow complex instructions and even beat you at chess. But does it actually experience the game the way you do? We can measure brain activity when someone sees red. But can we ever truly know what it's like for them to experience that redness? Is consciousness simply a product of complex neural networks, or is there something more to it? Beyond our universe, the multiverse maybe? Just when you thought things couldn't get any weirder, there's the multiverse theory. This mind bender proposes the existence of multiple universes beyond our own, each potentially with different laws of physics and its own version of reality. Imagine an infinite number of universes, each with a slightly different version of you, one where you became an astronaut, another where you're a world-famous chef. The multiverse theory is highly speculative, but it arises from some of our current scientific understanding. For example, some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest the possibility of multiple universes branching off at different points in time. However, there's no way to definitively prove or disprove the existence of a multiverse, leaving it as a fascinating thought experiment for now. The observer effect, reality and our interaction. Quantum mechanics throws another curveball into the mix. The observer effect suggests that simply observing a tiny particle can actually change its state, blurring the line between the observer and the observed. Does reality exist independently of our interaction with it? Spooky. Imagine a scientist trying to measure a subatomic particle. The very act of observing it with a special instrument might actually change its behavior. This challenges the idea of a pre-existing, objective reality, and suggests that reality might be more fluid and participatory than we previously thought. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Does it even exist? This classic question gets to the heart of the relationship between perception and reality. If there's no conscious observer to experience the sound of the falling tree, did it truly make a sound? Or does sound itself require a perceiver? If someone is colorblind and sees the world differently, is their reality less real than yours? Our individual experiences of color are shaped by our unique biology. While someone who is colorblind might not see the world in the same way you do, their experience is just as real for them. It simply highlights the diversity of perception and the limitations of our senses. Could a super smart AI in the future create a simulated reality so convincing that it's indistinguishable from our own? The rise of artificial intelligence raises fascinating questions about the nature of reality. If an AI could create a simulated world so realistic that we couldn't tell the difference, would that make our own reality any less real? If everything is relative, think Einstein. Is there even an absolute reality to be grasped? Einstein's theory of relativity challenged our understanding of space, time, and gravity. It suggests that reality is not absolute. but rather relative to the observer's frame of reference. This throws a wrench into the idea of a single, objective reality and suggests that reality might be more nuanced and multifaceted than we initially thought. The nature of reality is a fascinating and ongoing exploration. We may never have all the answers, but the very act of questioning and seeking understanding is a hallmark of our curiosity and our capacity for wonder. From the limitations of our senses to the mind-bending theories of the multiverse, the pursuit of understanding reality is a journey filled with twists, turns, and endless possibilities. While the nature of reality might seem like an abstract philosophical exercise, it actually has a profound impact on our daily lives. Our understanding of reality shapes our values, our beliefs, and the way we interact with the world around us. Living with uncertainty, embracing the paradox. The very nature of reality is a paradox. On the one hand, we strive for knowledge and understanding, seeking to build a coherent picture of the universe. On the other hand, we grapple with the limitations of our perception and the possibility that the ultimate nature of reality might forever remain a mystery. This uncertainty can be unsettling, but it can also be a source of wonder and inspiration. The materialist path. Focus on the measurable. If we subscribe to a materialist perspective, our focus might be on the tangible aspects of reality, the physical world, our interactions with it, and the pursuit of happiness and fulfillment within this lifetime. We might value scientific progress, technological advancement, and the exploration of the natural world. The idealist path, exploring the power of the mind. If we lean towards idealism, the power of our thoughts and intentions might take center stage. We might focus on cultivating inner peace, developing our consciousness, and exploring the potential of the mind to shape our reality. Living in a simulation, finding meaning within the code. The simulation theory, while unproven, presents another interesting perspective. If we live in a simulation, would we strive to break the code and understand the nature of the simulation itself? Or would we focus on finding meaning and purpose within the parameters of the simulated world? The nature of reality is a multifaceted tapestry woven from threads of perception, physics, philosophy, and the human experience itself. It's a journey with no final destination, but one filled with wonder, curiosity, and the ongoing pursuit of understanding. As we continue to explore the mysteries of existence, we not only gain a deeper understanding of the universe, but also discover more about ourselves and our place within it.